Missed ya. It's been a while. Almost a year, but we're back with the Basic Kitchen, and today we are gonna make one of my favorites, espresso brownies with a little bit of sea salt. Why I decided to do brownies, I know the holidays are coming up, it is a very easy treat, but for me personally, brownies, I was always personally intimidated by them. I felt like every time I'd make a brownie, they were like underbaked or just things wouldn't work out, and so I was just like, I need to find a brownie recipe that is almost foolproof, and every time I make these, the tray is pretty much gone. The best part about it is it's fudgy and it's very foolproof. I think a lot of brownie recipes, typically you melt the butter and then you melt chocolate, and I think that initially is what is intimidating, but for this, you're just melting butter, sugar, and we're gonna switch it up a little bit, and I'm gonna make an espresso butter. So with that, we are gonna start off on the stove. First off, we're gonna start in a pot with 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. We have sugar, oil, and then I've also put instant espresso powder in here, and that's what's gonna make our espresso butter, essentially. So we're gonna put this on a medium heat. This takes probably about 2 minutes to melt down, depending on how soft your butter is. It's fairly fast. I'm using a whisk with this because typically instant espresso, usually it activates with water, so with butter it's a little bit different, so I'm just using a whisk for this to activate. It will look a little weird at first, but don't worry. The thing with this mixture is you only really want to cook it until most of the butter is melted. I'm going to keep it on the heat just for a little bit longer to make sure that the espresso is melting with the butter sugar mixture. So again, this is a fairly fast process. So once you start to see that this is a little bit thickening up, you're gonna turn the heat off, and then you're gonna bring it back over to your bench and just stir a little bit longer just to make sure that you're getting as much of the espresso flavor out as possible. I think what I love about this is it almost gives off like a toffee kind of smell, which is really good. Can you smell it? It smells so good. So again, you don't need to melt the espresso powder all the way. We're just trying to make sure that like most of it is incorporated. The recipe doesn't call for vanilla extract, but I'm just a huge fan of it. So I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of vanilla extract to this mixture, and I'm gonna let this sit and cool down for a little bit. Once this butter sugar mixture has cooled down a little bit, we're gonna go to our mixer. So I have the 2 eggs and an egg yolk fitted with a whip attachment. Why we're using a whip attachment instead of a paddle attachment is because this is a part where we're incorporating the most air. As you know, brownies are very dense. They're not fluffy really like cakes are. So what we're doing here is we're adding the whip paddle. So we're incorporating as much air as we possibly can. So with that, I'm gonna start this on a medium speed. We're gonna let this go probably for about 15 to 20 seconds, get this a little bit pale, get as many air bubbles in here as possible. Then we're gonna add the remainder of our sugar. You see it's starting to get a little bit frothy. I'm gonna turn the mixer down on a low speed and start slowly incorporating our remainder sugar. Once you fully have incorporated the sugar into the egg mixture, we're gonna stop this, scrape the bowl down, then we're gonna let this mixture run for about 30 seconds, and then you'll see the color is gonna change. It's gonna become more of a pale color. It's gonna be really shiny and super pretty. So let me scrape down the bowl. You can already see the color difference. It's already a lighter pale yellow than before. So back on medium speed for about 30 seconds. This is now a pale, shiny yellow. I'm gonna put this again on slow, and I'm gonna start now to add this liquid sugar mixture that we have. We're gonna go really slow with this part. And then we're gonna scrape down the rest and add that beautiful espresso caramel butter sugar toffee mix that we've made. You don't need to over mix this part. That's really important. You just wanna make sure that this is fully incorporated. So we're gonna do one big scrape of the bowl again. Make sure we're getting the bottom parts. And now you have this like beautiful liquidy egg sugar espresso base, and you can already tell like the volume is twice the size of what we started with. So now we're gonna do the dry mixture. I'm just gonna do this in half parts. I'm gonna do half of the dry mixture in here. Slowly mix it. We don't wanna overwork it. Then we'll add the rest. And then lastly, I'll hand mix it because again, I just don't wanna overmix the dry mixture, so. Very low speed. We'll take a spatula, get the dry on the side. We'll add the rest of the dry mixture. We'll do this for maybe 10 seconds. And then from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the chocolate chips, and then your brownie batter is ready to put in your pan. Once we're done with the mixer and we finally mix the dry with the wet ingredients, we just took our 3/4 cups of chocolate chips, and I'm just gonna hand fold them because again, we worked so hard to get some volume into this mixture, and we don't wanna deflate it, so we're just gonna gently fold the chocolate chips. And this will also let us make sure that we've incorporated all of the batter together. Maybe want to fold it 5 to 6 times, and that should be ready. Now I have a 9x9 baking sheet. It's very specific to have this pan size. I've lightly greased it. I used cooking oil, or I took a towel with vegetable oil and rubbed it around, and I have parchment paper. I like to do it this way because it'll be easier to lift out of the pan. Basically, once we pour the batter into the pan, we're just gonna gently pat it into the 4 corners into the pan. We don't wanna like hit the pan because then again, we're gonna lose all of our bubbles and the air that we incorporated with. And you know me, I love a salty sweet dessert, so I have my flaky sea salt that I'm gonna put on top. Again, what I mentioned in the beginning of this video is the one thing I love about brownies is it's such a vessel. You can make it creative. You can put marshmallows, you can put sprinkles, pretzels, whatever your heart desires in this mixture. So little flaky sea salt, and then we will go into the oven. So we're just gonna go into the oven, and this is set at 350 degrees. You wanna put it in the middle rack. Thing about brownies, personal preference for doneness, you can either set this between 25 minutes to 30 minutes. My sweet spot I have found is 27 minutes to get that perfect gooey thing. And then I'll talk about doneness a little bit when we're done in the oven. So our timer just went off. Again, I said my sweet spot is 27 minutes. So I'm gonna take a look at it. The key things that I wanna know when this is ready is if you take a look, and it looks beautiful, you'll see right here around the edge, it's starting to like make its own little square. It kind of wants to do like a split in the middle, but this is like perfect for me. If you are a person who likes more overdone brownies, feel free to leave it in the oven for 30 minutes. If you like them a little bit underbaked, go ahead, leave it for 25 minutes. But one thing I do want to note too is if you're a fan of the chewier, gummy, chewy brownie, this might sink a little bit. Just a reminder, this is fully baked. You're just pulling it out to make it be a little bit undone or under, I guess. And so that's why you might see some sinkish, but don't worry about that. It won't affect the taste of the brownie. So we're gonna let this sit for about an hour, and then from there we can cut it into squares and eat. I hope you guys enjoyed that espresso brownie recipe. As you can tell, very simple to make. It probably took us maybe 20 minutes total. Super easy, super simple, foolproof, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.